Okay, you want to get it in there good. Now, they say a little goes a long way, but I overdo everything, so. Welcome back to the community, everybody, and thank you all for being part of it. Today, it's time to continue on with bodywork. Heather and I will be doing a film next week together, which I think will be a lot of fun. I think it'll be interesting, so I hope you tune in. Today, we're going to start sanding down the door, stripping everything off of it, which, I mean paint-wise, and we're going to wire wheel and clean the rust areas, and we're going to hit them with OSPO so that can sit overnight, and we'll use the lightweight body filler on some spots. Let's continue with the budget paint job. All right, so this is the door that we just did last week where we gutted everything out of it. We went over and did the regulator to show you how to properly lubricate them. So I'm going to bring you up close, show you a few things, and we're going to start sanding. But we have some pretty deep rust there. So I'm going to have to grind that out pretty well. And I'm sorry, that's my neighbors. They're always screaming and yelling if you can hear them. But that's going to need OSPO put on it. And we're going to get inside of here. I forgot to get the rest of the clips. I'll do that in a second. And wire wheel that. And we are going to wire wheel down inside of here because I want to spray OSPO down in there also. We are going to pull out that sound deadener from the factory and we're going to put in our own. So let's check the other side. We're going to have to grind that down, which this door don't look as bad as the other one did. The underneath is a little bad, but not even as bad as the other side. One thing I do like is the hinges are good. Now, if you're new here to the channel, for any reason, this is what I'm using, OSPO. And I'm going to go ahead, once I grind that rust down and make it nice and shiny, we're going to spray OSPO on them areas and let them sit for 24 hours so that it can seal it. And I won't get into a bunch of chemical stuff, but it will seal it and then we can paint over it. So let's do it. All right, make sure you wear a dust mask, please, please. I'm going to speed this up with some music to get it started, and we're going to go ahead and start sanding this down. I'm going to have to get a 60 grit. I don't know why this stuff's like armor. Okay, I'm going to switch to a 60 grit here. I don't know why. I've never sanded paint that was like armor plating, but it's on there pretty good. If not, I'll get my other sander. Put your mask on. I had this problem with the other door where it's just really hard to cut down. All right, I switched out sanders. I want to see something. That's 80 grit. All right, we're getting there. Oh, all right, let me scuff the bottom of this and I'll have to wire wheel it. Okay. I hope you had your dust mask on, even if you're just watching from your couch. Okay, I'm going to hit this with a wire wheel. I'll bring you up close. and the other rust spots and the hinges with a wire wheel, because I want to get that OSPO on here so it can sit overnight, although to you it'll be minutes apart from video editing. This is a 2-day project squeezed into a 20-minute film approximately. Okay, let me get the wire wheel. Oh, I hate doing bodywork videos. They're boring. Alrighty, I got about enough done as I wanted to do today, but we got to put the OSPO on so it can stay 24 hours and seal. Make sure you get a spray bottle. I buy these Zep bottles at Lowe's. I think that's where Heather gets them at. Write acid on it. Don't be like me the one time. I thought it was Simple Green and started spraying something. That was stupid. So make sure you do right on these. Okay, what we did. All right, so we're going to spray all these areas so that they seal well, and inside the door a little bit too, and I'll show you where as I'm working on it. Make sure to wear a mask because this is acid, some glasses, a hat if possible for your hair. You should wear long sleeves, gloves, okay, because this isn't acid. Let's start spraying it. I adjusted this so it's like a fan spray. So I'm just gonna, actually I'm going up inside of here. Okay, we're gonna spray there. We're gonna hit these spots and let them sit overnight. Okay, let me move the door. Got it running all down the sides, which I'll be sanding anyhow. Okay, I'm gonna spray inside of here because I couldn't hit it from the other side. All right, now the important part. Now, as I told you, and if my voice is muffled, my mask's on, down inside of here, I cleaned it all up, but I'm going to spray it. So there's some up here that I scuffed with light paper. So what I'm going to do is spray those areas, and then I'll show you it tomorrow when it turns black. Now, down inside the door and up in behind here, I am going to mist it with some primer and paint. I'm not worried about it looking pretty. I just want to seal it. Okay, you want to get it in there good. Now, they say a little goes a long way, but I overdo everything, so. But you want it to work. Okay. That was my main part I was concerned about. I'm going to let that sit for 1 second, and then I got to do the underneath of the door. Okay. So all you got to do is give it a spritz. So that's got to sit for 24 hours. And one thing I want to tell you, if you got kids at home or pets, keep this crap out of the way. Teach your kids that things are bad. When they see certain writing on it or stickers, do what you can to prevent accidents. Pets and kids don't know any better, but I think you're old enough to know that. Okay, the OSPO, wow, it really smells. It smells like something burning, like, I don't know. That has to sit for 24 hours, but of course, we're going to do this whole film today and squeeze it all together. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so it has been almost 24 hours. I'm a couple hours shy. And one thing I did screw up, and I will say I made the statement and said a little goes a long way. I sprayed it too heavy though, because if you see how I got the door sitting, I'm trying to drain it. I just laid it down inside that cavity down inside the door so I could get it sealed, because I will go ahead and paint that. But nonetheless, you know, it's almost dry down in the bottom section. I'm going to bring you up and show you what it looks like, and then we're going to go ahead and get some work done. All right, so we can see that it turned that blackish color, so to speak. It's sealed, is what it is. Here's the top of the door. I did spray these areas. I'm getting a hard time getting it to focus. Let me move this. There, that's a little better. You can see how that turned black and it seals it. I don't know the chemical makeup. I'm not that good with this stuff. I just know it works. And I sprayed it down inside. So now I'm going to go ahead and do some more sanding. I'll speed certain parts up to try to make the film quick. I know nobody likes to watch somebody sand. And then we're going to start with the lightweight body filler. I love this stuff because it applies easy and it's easy to sand and it blends easier without having to worry about the edges not feathering properly. Hope that made sense. I got to give this a quick wipe down. It's just glass cleaner. Oh, great. It's starting to rain. How wonderful. I was trying to do this outside instead of shoved in a corner of the garage filming. There was crap on here, so I just felt the need to wipe it before I start sanding so I don't sand anything into it, if that makes any sense. Okay, now this smells like vinegar. Yep, vinegar formula. Ha! Totally awesome. I got that from the dollar store. It actually works quite well, believe it or not. And no, I did not take it from Heather's cleaning stash. Okay, so I did sand the door down. It's nice and smooth. I know which we're going to get out the which parts needs fixed. I'm going to get out the Evercoat lightweight filler next, and you can watch me put that on. This is what they look like when I'm done, the hinges, but you can't get a sander in there, so I do wire wheel. You can watch me do that right here. It makes it a lot easier. So you see what I mean? And that one, I'm not finished with it. I was just showing you. Easier than trying to get a sander down in there. And you can go ahead and clean the hinges up very nicely. I still got to finish that one, but that will be the end result. Okay, I'm going to start mixing up the body filler. Since I don't have anything crazy, going on, I'm using this lightweight body filler. I think you've seen this on my last video when I was using it. It's made by Evercoat, and it's lightweight body filler, and as you can see, easy spreading, easy sanding, tack-free, lightweight. They're right, it is nice. And no, I'm not telling you to go out and buy it. My favorite is Rage Gold, but I haven't seen it lately, so I don't know what happened to it. Let me mix this up, and we'll jump on the door. Alrighty. We got it mixed up. I hate doing body work. My father actually did a lot of body work, not as a living. He worked on a railroad, but he was really good at it. He just had a knack for it. I don't think for myself I ever acquired that actual skill from him. Probably because I didn't want to learn it. I should have left it alone there, but I didn't because I can't. I need to get this here, and it's jerking me around, and I don't know why. I'm probably too heavy on pulling it off. There we go. I am going to leave that. We got here. Here. There's a little wee bumps. Okay. And here. I ain't worried about an edge because I can sand the edges off, obviously. I have a little dent there. I just filled it. I'll probably have to do 2 sweeps on it, though. It was right here. It did fill it in. I think I got the hardener on a little heavy. I'll run like 220 over this because this stuff sands so easy. You see up here and here. It doesn't take long to dry. I think about 15-20 minutes. It isn't horrible. This filler does quite well. Probably if I was an actual body man, I could probably show like tricks with this, but I'm not a magician, that's for sure. There's little pock marks in some of this that I want to make sure is out. Oh, there we go. Remember, I'm doing budget work here. I'm going to have to spin the door around and get up in here. Okay, so I got the face of the door done here with filling everything in. About 20 minutes, I'll scuff that with 220. I got to get these spots right here. That's always fun. I could almost mold that by hand. Wish I had rust-free doors, but I don't. All right, I mixed a very small batch up just so I can fill these in and get them to dry. It's kind of a pain when you're doing areas like this. But I didn't want to go paying for a rust-free door somewhere. I'm trying to keep us under somewhat of a budget. If that makes any sense. I think some of us do live on a budget now, more or less. Alrighty. I might be in your way here, I don't know. I'm not worried what drips down in here. I'll just pick it off or sand it off. There we go. Got lucky on that one, huh? And I did the little dent that was up here. All right. Had to touch it. Always do. You can't leave it alone. There we go. Oops. I'll get that off later. This one here is kind of squirrely to get to, which means I'm going to have cleanup work to do. This is a pain. I had to do this on the other door. I should have had a smaller squeegee available. But I mold it once I start sanding it anyhow. See what I mean? How it is. It's not easy to get to. I use my finger like that. Okay. I know that looks rough, but it's okay because once I sand it, it'll be smooth, and then I'll do a second little coat on that. So let this stuff harden up. Now here's something that I wanted to go over while that's drying. When you're doing your hinges, now this is just my advice. I don't know if I'm going overboard or what, but you want to lift this while you're priming this area, okay? And then you can prime the back of this. Then put it down, just not the whole way, just barely touching it. And then you can prime this because the door is going to be shut most of the time until you're getting in and out. And this is what shows. So you want that painted. I hope that made sense. Okay, so I went ahead and waited 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start sanding that down. Make sure if you're using these, keep them clean every time, because I didn't the one time, but it's okay. I got these from Amazon. They're like a real thick plastic. They're nice. They really are. It's like that, you know, the guy that painted. Yeah, him. Put your thumb through there. I know. Shut up and do your work. All right, I got 180 on here. I'm going to try that first. Find my dust mask. There we go. And see what it does. I wanted to start heavier, but this lightweight filler seems to sand so easy that you can start out with a milder grit. So come on in and watch me. I'll put some music on. Well, it ate that up quick. I'm going to try 120 this time. Maybe 180 was a little too fine. Okay, so I'm going to have to put another coat on, obviously. Some of it I was a little rough on and sanded too much back off. The lightweight filler you got to get used to. What the heck that is there? Wait a second. So not too bad, honestly. And remember, I'm using a primer filler, so if there's a minor imperfection, it will fill it in. Now, not if you have a big, huge hole. Okay, let me turn this around and hit the shelving unit with it. Okay, I'm going to have to do this part, which isn't fun, so I'm going to stand the door up. I don't think it's tacky. It feels okay. I'm going to have to do this by hand, so that won't be much fun. Alrighty, let's give this a try. I set it on my old shirt that was laying up here. This is an awkward area. All right, so I sanded that down by hand. This didn't come out too bad. In all honesty, I'm going to do another little sweep right in there, although it feels smooth. Little sweep back over it one more time with a little bit of lightweight filler. Now, the sides towards the bottom, I already knew I was going to have to do it, you know, a couple of coats. This did not come out bad. This actually feels smooth, but I feel the need to just recoat it lightly and go back over it again. But it's coming out, well, it's a shame we didn't have touch and fill screen where you could go, wow, that feels smooth. It don't look it, but it does. It feels very smooth. I don't think I'm going to do the filler on the bottom. I sealed it with the OSPO. I might give it a light scuffing and use the primer filler in paint instead of putting a bunch of filler at the bottom of the door where it's not going to be seen regardless, but the primer filler is pretty thick. It fills it in. I did have a little dent here and it come out pretty good. I'll do another little lightweight across it. So let me put that on. Hold on one second. Alrighty. Let's get a little bit more on here. Oh man, I see a little hardener in that one spot right there. Oh, what happened there? Cute. Oh well. Get this covered here. I can't seem to get that. There. Did it that way. One more little coat here. I sanded a little too much off, which happens. I don't do it every day for a living. So where were they at? Here. Okay. Alrighty. Trying to see where I had some blemishes that I wanted to go over. There we go. And that little divot, I wanted to hit that one more time. Okay. And a little bit more back over these.
Should have did this while it was standing up. It would have been easier. But I didn't. There we go. And here. There. I think that should be good. I had to touch it again, of course, because that's what I do. Okay, let me get that corner.
I think that's it. All right, so I have my second coat on. I think a second coat's going to be enough. It should be. That wasn't horrible. I sculpted around the top with my finger because it's too hard to get a squeegee in there. I'm going to let this dry for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Give it a sanding. Then we're going to go over everything on this side of the door to make sure we're safe to spray. And then we'll go ahead and put our fill-in primer on. Okay, so that's drying the lightweight filler. Remember, you can buy this too. Little tips I give along the way. This lacquer thinner, the cheapest I found it is Walmart, and they have it right on the shelf. That's where I buy my acetone also. But this is what I clean this off with, clean my squeegee off. These are like $2-3 bucks. So honestly, I buy like 3 packs at a time, and there's smaller ones, larger ones. And of course, I mix with a putty knife. It's just what I do. Sometimes I seem to run out of the hardener before I run out of the filler, and they have that blue stuff that I like at Walmart also. So just a little tip. All right, so this is still a little tacky. I'm going to let this dry and possibly go get a haircut. My hair's sticking out all over. It is what it is. I'm going to let this dry. I'll be back and stand it down and prime it. Okay, so I took a short break because, well, I got hungry and I had to get a hat because Heather said, "Are you making a video?" Yes, I am. She said I look like Heat Miser, that I need to get a haircut. I'll get one before the live chat. Sometimes you just don't care. All right, let's go ahead and get this sanded down. I'm going to hit this with 180, I believe. I'll tell you in a second, because I want to go with a little lighter grit. This might be the finished part here. So, time for that. Okay, I'm not going to put my gloves on today, but you wear yours. You shouldn't be getting stuff in your skin. I need to feel everything to make sure it's smooth, and with the gloves, it's hard sometimes. So let's get this done so we can warm our primer up, wipe this down, and get it in primer and move on. So I got 120 on here is what I have. So we're going to start with that, and I'll speed the film up. Okay, I'm going to first give a tip. I always give tips. Here is your tip for the day. When, in fact, you decide to use an electrical item like a drill or an orbital sander, you must plug it in. Ugh. Only me. All right, put your mask on. Don't forget. Sit back and listen to the music. I'll speed it up really quick. This actually is coming out pretty nice, honestly. It really is. I am not a professional, but I am the type of guy that will get it on the road and it will look decent. Wait, I missed a little spot here. Like I said, I'm doing a daily driver paint job, cheap. I am going to try something, and I missed here. See that? Believe that? All right, we gotta get the top here. Okay, I'm gonna have to get down inside of here because the filler went over here. So let me get something. We're getting almost ready to warm that primer up. All right, time to break out the Dremel. I'll show you what I'm doing. I can't get down inside there to sand that filler out, and that'll keep the chrome trim from snapping into place. So we are going to do that. All right, I don't know if this will make sense to you where it's at, but your chrome trim seats along here where your window goes up, I got some filler back in here, so we got to get it out of there. And it's where it was on the inside of this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to curve some sandpaper to get that curve I need. Move real slow. Just trying to take the edge off of it where it curves around. Now, I'm not worried about perfection here because the chrome comes over and seats like there. So, all right, I think it's ready, in all honesty. Like I said, this is not a show car, but we want it to be presentable. What I'm going to do, run down the house real quick. I'm going to get some warm hot water, not hot. That makes sense? All right, and I got to warm the primer up. We'll go over that, and we're going to paint it. I'm going to see if I can hang it from the ceiling instead of laying it on a table. So give me 1 second. All right, hopefully this holds it. There we go. Hanging from the ceiling. It's ready to spray. I'm going to go ahead and wipe it down with wax and grease remover. I already started warming the primer, and I used an old coffee mate container, and I'll show you why. I like the way the whole can's almost submerged, like 80% of it. Now what you want to do is take very warm water, not hot. You're just trying to atomize the paint or primer, whatever you're using, and I can feel the cans nice and warm. And you want to shake it up for about, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. Hopefully the microphone's not acting weird because I'm shaking. Shake it up for about 2-3 minutes. After 5 minutes in the warm water, and put it back in again for 5 more minutes. It will atomize the paint and make it flow smoother. The only thing I'm bummed out about with the filler primer from Rust-Oleum is it don't have a fan spray. The paint we're going to use does, but I don't think I have a fan spray here that I can swap out for it, but it causes me to go like that instead of down further, like a wider spray. So, all right, let me give that 5 more minutes and we'll shake it really good. Something else I like to do, you don't have to, you do what you see is right, is it is 65 degrees today. So I'm going to warm the metal up a little wee bit with a heat gun, just lightly. You don't have to cook it. Just trying to warm it up a little wee bit so the metal's not cold from sitting all night. Because I think it went down into like the 40s or something last night. I'm not sure. I didn't pay attention. Yeah, see, it's giving the metal a nice warm feel. Now, I didn't prep the inside of the door yet, but it's not a big deal. It'll be easy to do. There ain't much to do there. Not a big deal. All right, I got it wiped all done. I hit it with wax and grease remover. Yes, I just touched it with my finger. Shut up. It's nice and smooth. Just double checking. I don't care if overspray gets back here. I'm going to sand that area anyhow. So let's get on our protection. Let's start spraying. Okay, do what you want, but I like using these handles. It makes it easier to spray. The can is shaken up. It's nice and warm. The metal is warm. So let's give it a shot. Okay, we're going to let this sit for 10 minutes and tack up. Now, I don't know if you heard this running in the background. Put a fan in your window and pull air out, okay? You don't want to get clogged up in your lungs or eyes or anything regardless. So have the air pulling out so the primer or paint, whatever you're using, sanding, it pulls it out the window. Go get a fan from the Goodwill if you want. They're cheap. Now, remember what I said. Your hinges, I already sprayed the back of them, and then I closed them, so to speak. See that there? Make sure you close it like the door would be closed, because if not, you're going to have nice shiny metal there, and it's going to look silly. We don't like looking silly. All right, it's been 10 minutes. Coat 2.
Seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going live. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago.
If you're still in the garage, don't take this off yet. Oh. Make sure you get a nice respirator. Seriously. Please, folks, guys, ladies, kids, don't mess around with your lungs. You ain't going to go out and get a new set. All right, so do I see a little bit of a zebra effect? Very mild. But once I scuff it down, because this filler primer is actually very thick and gritty when it's on, I don't want to touch it, then I'll spray the paint. So it will cover that up. There's very minor. You can barely see it, and some I think is dry and some isn't. But what I'm going to do is let this dry overnight, and I'm going to go ahead and hang it on the car just to get it out of the way for now. And that way I can open it and scuff the inside down and spray it. It's real easy to get the inside because, well, there's not much there. What we're going to do next is take the deck lid off and go ahead and start that. I got some rust here I'm going to have to treat. No big deal. What I should do, and this is an idea, is take 2 body panels every week and get them knocked out. Geez, in about 4 or 5 weeks, everything will be in primer and ready to paint. We're going to have to go ahead and run the brake lines and get them out of the way. Of course, I got to bring the fenders up the garage. They'll be easy because I got 2 NOS fenders. But maybe we should start running the brake lines and getting all that stuff out of the way and hooked up. It's just a thought. The bodywork is what takes the longest, unfortunately, but you know how that goes. So we got the outside done completely. It actually come out really nice for what we were dealing with. I think it'll look great when it's painted. The nice thing about the paint is we're going to do the 5-in-1 spray. So it has a vertical and horizontal position for the spraying, so it comes out like a fan spray where it's wider instead of a pinpoint. I can't seem to find the gray primer in a fan spray for some reason, and it's very annoying. So if you know of some, let me know. I don't care if it's a little lighter or darker. I'll lay the paint on, and it will come out fine. Basically, that's it. I will see you tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern for our live chat club meeting. Heather will be also hosting and hanging out. And we'll pull some more stickers and do some giveaways with those. I hope everybody had a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you made it this far, say, I love bodywork. I don't like bodywork. Have a good day.